of course, most of the letters in the alphabet, you don't need your substitutions to say. So letters like A, C, D, E, G, H, I, J, K, L, N, O, Q, R, S, T, U, Y, and Z. But the other letters are a lot harder. But a key in the substitutions is to always think the letter. So if you're substituting for the letter B, mentally think the letter B while you say it. That'll help the audience hear it. That'll help you learn, your mind anyway, to substitute, however you're going to substitute it, with an effective substitution letter. And that's what we're going to learn right now. We're going to learn how to substitute the labials with some other word. Now there are some labial cheats. In other words, you can take a whole dialogue, you can rewrite that dialogue and get rid of every single letter that uses a labial or your lips. So a little guy or little boy would be substituted by little guy. Your mommy would be that lady you live with. But that is a cheat, and a true ventriloquist is going to practice these substitutions so you can actually say all the letters and all the phonic sounds of the alphabet without cheating. Of course, one cheat is, at the dentist's office here, is to wear one of these and then do your whole act. But that's probably not a good idea. You probably won't get many bookings that way. So during the exercises, always think the substitution. Do all the substitutions 15 minutes a day for at least a week. So take a week to do a letter, 15 minutes a day, and always warm up before you do each exercise. Now remember to enunciate. Use your tongue. You want to be clear in your enunciation. So as you practice these, make sure you enunciate using your tongue, thinking the letter as you do the substitutions. Also, always practice in the dummy's voice. If you've got a tone that you're comfortable with right now, when you practice, use that. Get it into your nose or go lower if you're going to have a lower tone. But use the dummy's voice. That'll help train your brain not to move the lips, not to move your jaw when you're actually doing the voice of your dummy. Okay, let's talk about the labials, those hard to speak letters that want to move your lips. Now remember, we're going to use our tongue instead of using our lips. That's what sound substitutions are all about. So each of the labial letters in the alphabet have one or two, sometimes three different substitutions you can do. We're going to go over those right now. And it's really going to be up to you to practice each of these and see which work best for you. Personally, sometimes I use, in the same word, I'll use two different substitutions because it just sounds better. But don't forget, when you're doing this in the context of a routine or on the stage in front of an audience, your audience is very forgiving. Because of the dummy's voice being different than your own, you think practicing the labial may sound terrible, but in the context of a sentence, like your dummy saying, the boy bought a basketball, because they're expecting, once they hear the word boy and basketball, that he bought it, they will fill in sometimes if your labials aren't that clear or enunciated. And as you get better at it, the audience will probably forgive you if you make a little mistakes or it doesn't sound clear. One way you can do this is tape record your practicing, and you'll see playing it back, it sounds terrible. One time I did a radio show with Rudy, a ventriloquist on the radio, hard to believe. And the first time I recorded it, I recorded Rudy's voice on the very first episode without moving my lips. And I played it back and it sounded terrible. Why? Because the audience didn't have the misdirection of seeing the dummy and having the context of a live performance. It sounded horrible. So I had to go back and move my lips for Rudy's voice, which my brain really freaked out at because I was so used to never moving my lips when I did Rudy's voice, and it sounded natural then. But I could do that same routine live in front of an audience using the labials and not moving my lips, and it sounded great. So let's talk about the substitutions right now. So we have our friendly loudmouth from SteveTaylorProducts. Hello! Well, hello, loudmouth. How you doing? Oh, I'm great. Yes, this is for the ventriloquist that couldn't afford the whole puppet. So let's start with the letter B. This first in the alphabet is the first labial. And a lot of times B is a very hard letter. But say the word B right now and you'll see how your lips will come together. You say the letter B. Now, a common substitution for the letter B is people use the letter D, because D is very close. Now, when you do the letter D, what you're doing is you're taking the tip of your tongue, here's your tongue, here's your mouth. You're taking the tip of the tongue, and when you do the letter D normally, you touch just the tip of your tongue behind your front teeth. Say it with me. D, D, right there on the upper palate behind the front teeth. The tip of your tongue, D. But now, if you're going to substitute the letter D for the letter B, don't use the tip of your tongue. I call it a sloppy D. Because you're doing the sloppy D, you're going to use the whole front of your tongue, smash behind the upper palate behind your front teeth. So it comes out the. So you've been taught to enunciate, and when you enunciate, you use the tip of your tongue, D. But now you're going to substitute a D, a sloppy D for the B, smashing the whole front of your tongue behind your teeth, D. And now try it. Holding your jaw still, your lips parted, try. Daddy bounced a blueberry. Daddy bounced a blueberry. Daddy bounced a blueberry. Daddy bounced a blueberry. So you're doing a sloppy D instead of the B with your lips. But you don't do a regular D, you do a sloppy with the whole front of your tongue. Another substitution for the letter B, some people use this. Personally, I don't. I use the sloppy D. But a lot of people use the hard G as in girl. So Betty bought a blueberry would come out, Betty got a blueberry. See, or glue-gary. And whatever works for you. I would just practice all the possibilities and see what's best for you and comfortable. And sometimes you have to use both in a word if there's too many B's in one word. So you've got to go now practice doing your substitution with the letter B, either using the sloppy D or, of course, the hard G. And then you come back and we'll go on to the next substitution sound. See you soon. Bye-bye.